Good morning, and welcome to episode 16 of Heartbreak and Hope, where we share the things that are weighing heavy on our hearts and the things that are bringing us joy and hope in the week ahead. Our opening words this morning are from Prayers for Healing. This is the reading for June 9th when we are recording this, written by Twain Hart Hill, an ode to my father, healing the critic. When I wake in the morning, it is either the very next day, after many, many days, or it is the very first day. When it is the very next day, after many, many days, I know the time has come for me to walk through the door, to take a look at that dark part of me that is calling, and to touch that place of willingness to look again. I know the time has come for me to walk through the door, to take a look at this critic within, who only wants me to listen to what needs to be heard. So I then can heal and bring that part of me back to me. When I wake in the morning, it is either the very next day after many, many days, or it is the very first day. Today, it is the very first day of what exists now. What's weighing heavy?
I'm okay. It's starting to be very hot, which I don't like, and all the things. But more and more, the how I am doesn't seem to matter in the face of how the world is.
Mm-hmm.
And also it does, it's sort of like the reading you just did. It's either I'm one of many, many, or it matters how I feel. And this week, we've been talking about the erasure of the Unitarian Universalists by the Department of Defense. And I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, Reverend Ali Casey Bell wrote a really long thing about not only, trans people are now criminalized or, considered extremists, but also the denomination is getting erased.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like disappearing. Feels like disappearing.
Well, and
Yeah.
for me, some of it is also that, you know, two of our first six presidents were Unitarians, and were part of writing the Declaration of Independence and the first Constitution.
5 people that signed the Declaration of Independence, either Unitarian or Universalist. I looked it up.
Right? And so in othering Unitarian Universalism, you're also rewriting the history of our country and the founding values of this nation. And that's part of this larger goal, this larger push towards white Christian nationalism, defining what it means to be American as only this one small thing.
Right. And I have no great love for the Latter-day Saints religion, I guess. But I know that, and they're not, like I don't believe in their tenets, but they consider themselves Christians, and they have sided with the Republicans. I mean, you know, even Republican candidates were LDS, and they've been considered not part of this nation, even though their theology is all about America, right? Like about how Jesus came to, like, it, and that is a lesson in how, you know, the, you know, face eating leopard eats the face of people. Um, or that story about the scorpion wanting to go to the other side of the river, convinces the turtle, and then bites the turtle, and the turtle dies and says, why did you do that? Because it's
Kill
in
that
my
one
nature.
scorpion.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Well, and
Uh,
and additionally, this whole idea of assimilation, right? Like
mhm.
that whiteness um, draws first others and then draws in those people in order to other others.
I took a class in seminary which was called race class in American public safety. And the race we studied was white,
Ha!
right? Like this was an interesting class where we kept getting given these readings to do that were about Anglo-Saxon traditions, Anglo-Saxon primacy. There's a lot of Cornell West has written some real good stuff from the academic standpoint. Um, because before Black people could be invented, you had to invent the white race.
Yeah.
And then you expand it as it's convenient, but it's also always pending the back, uh, backtracking. Um, and I was reminded recently because I rewatched the Godfather series of movies. No, because I had to explain to my kid one of the epithets that they called Italians.
Oh.
And I don't want to say it because it's sort of like it reflects that people thought that Italians were kind of like Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And racial epithets for people that weren't considered white, including Irish, including Chinese,
Yep.
where all the common denominator was you're all monkeys, right? Like that's the thing. Um, and yeah, there is a lot of that sense in, we don't want to deal with you, not just because you're organized crime, we're corrupt just as much as you are, but we don't want to deal with you because you're Italian and therefore greasy, blah, 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 you know. And yeah, so that's always been there. Like the things that I claim to be.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be cavalier about it, but it feels like the plot of Earth that I reside in, it gets smaller and smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But also there is freedom in that.
Yes. I was just thinking that if we don't exist, then we can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Um, and and maybe this is the hope, but I go back to the resolution that was passed by the UUA a couple of years ago during GA, which is to include in our articles of faith, basically, that honoring the existence of trans and genderqueer and intersex people. Because then, you know, and and that was a smart move to make it an article of our faith. But then I thought, yeah, that's the only way that you can counteract that is to erase our faith, to say that that's not a real thing.
Right. And additionally, if you erase Unitarians and Universalists and Unitarian Universalists, then you also erase the parts of our history that call us to our higher values, to our founding goals as a democracy, and to the truth of the, you know, the diversity of belief, which, yes, they, all of the founders of our country were white men who were, raised within the context of Christianity. And within that context, there was a diversity of belief, and that diversity made way for further diversity.
Yes. And there were people that fought specifically for freedom of religion. And I know that the, American Revolution was fought on the basis of economics and on the basis of other things, but that was a piece of it. That was freedom of the religion was a piece of it because a lot of the people came from religious persecution. Uh,
So, what's bringing you hope right now?
um, it's sort of a sad hope. I don't know if you know who Marianne Satrapi was. She
Dude,
wrote
I'm
Persepolis,
so sad.
and the fact that so much outpouring of grief came out for a person that wrote graphic novels that I really enjoyed, but like her own recollection. And that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about her, point of view in Persepolis,
Mm-hmm.
especially the first book, but has to do with the new mind, the beginner mind, um, and sort of filtering it through. I don't know that this is good or bad, but it feels bad to me. And that outlook that she gave a generation of people that read her stuff, or maybe more than a generation, because I know people not of my generation that read it. And so I'm comforted by the fact that people knew her just as good as the work of Art Spiegelman that wrote Mouse, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a thing. Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting.
that's
Yeah. I mean, the hope there, right, is that art, whether it's the written word or the visual art, has the ability to change hearts and minds, to transcend the present circumstances. I mean, what's really interesting about Persepolis 1 and 2 is that, she also, she wrote about the revolution in Iran,
yeah. Oh yeah.
right? And so we're living through right now the repercussions of that revolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, and how she knew it was a historically important moment and also her life,
Hmm.
right? That sort of like gentle touch of reminding these are people and these are things that happen to people. Um, and yeah, uh, and I know, I'm sad that she passed away. She was young
Yeah, she was.
and she died of a broken heart. That's also sad that it is possible to die of a broken heart. It's, yeah. I mean, she had gone through a lot, but the whole humanity of this moment, in like that she died, that people responded to it for days, talking about it. And I don't know why I find hope in it, because it's a sad moment. I guess hope doesn't have to be happy.
Mm.
Um, because it humanized all of us that are grieving at this moment. I think uh, it reminded me that there is humanity in what we're feeling. It's not all like unprecedented this, dumpster fire that. And like there are moments in which you can. And when I say turn inward, I don't mean let's forget about the world outside, but sort of like check in with our humanity, check in with our curiosity. What, that is the thing that makes us reach out and connect. What about you? What gives you hope today?
I do a reading uh, on the new moon each month. The reading for the cycle that we're in right now, the lunar cycle that we're in right now, was that I have all the time that I need. Which is kind of the opposite of how I've been feeling.
Mhm.
And is also what I've been hungry for, hoping for, wanting. And so just trying to lean into summer, lean into that spaciousness. We have a lot of folks in the congregation who are navigating really hard things at the moment. And each has articulated a need to to take a pause so that they could be present for those things in their lives.
Mhm.
And so I'm just wondering what does it look like if we each allow ourselves to take a little pause, give ourselves an experience of spaciousness. The fall is going to be wild. There's so much happening in Missouri and in the country. Let's take a moment and breathe.
I'm going to close with a line from an email I got from the Reverend Tandy Rogers, who's the director of the spiritual direction program of Meadville. And she wrote to all of us saying, "Hey, hello, we're going to do something later on, but first, I want you to invite you into a practice." And so I'm going to offer this practice. This starts with a gentle reflection question. Where in your life are you invited to slow down enough to truly notice? And the practice is once a day, pause for one full breath before entering a room, opening your laptop, or responding to someone you love. And then let that breath become a threshold prayer. So give ourselves permission to take a breath.